Andrea Botez versus Dina Belenkaya was the most thrilling match of the Mogul Chessboxing Championship, organized by Ludwig. Andrea went for blood in the boxing part of the match. Dina was struggling to find cover. In fact, after the match was over, Andrea had something interesting to say as well.
But unfortunately, I thought this was a chess boxing match. It felt more like hide and seek.
So the match had some controversy. Let's come to the chess part. Dina won the match by delivering checkmate. In the chess part, she absolutely smashed Andrea. This was the final position of the match. Andrea had played a London, and look at black's pieces. Dina had invaded with the pieces here. Queen h2 is a threat, queen g2 if rook moves, and knight f2 is another threat. Two threats, and here Andrea couldn't do anything. She tried to stall a bit, but at the end it was not enough. So let us see how this game became so horrible for white. How did black get such a nice position against the London? Let's see. Andrea played d4, knight f6 by Dina, bishop f4, the London system. Andrea played d6, preparing e5, e3, h6, knight f3, and g5. So this is where Dina announces her intentions. She is not here to play a quiet position. She is here for the thrashing. She wants to thrash the London because she knew that in the boxing part she was losing. She had the lower hand, Andre had the upper hand. So she had to go for blood in the chess part because she is the more experienced player and the better player in chess. Bishop g3, bishop g7, bishop d3, knight h5. So Dina wants to exchange of the bishop, but not now, probably after white castles, if white castles. Knight d2, knight out, c3, e6, and e4. So Andrea just goes for the sender, controls the sender. She knows a bishop will be exchanged after castle, so she tries to delay it a little bit. Knight f4. Bishop takes, pawn takes. This pawn is weak, but it's also slightly in the white position. It's covering squares. Now, queen e2. Bishop d7. So both sides are delaying the castling. a4, a5, knight c4, queen e7. Queen moves to d2, attacking the pawn. So how would you defend? Dina defends it actively. She plays d5, attacking the knight. Knight moves. Takes, takes, f5. The bishop has to move. And now comes e5. This is a very nice move by black by Dina. Even though both kings are in the middle of the board, it is a white king that is less safe because the queen is on e7. So e5 opening up the position is actually good for black. And now this was the first mistake by Andrea. This basically changed things quite a bit. Because in this position, the correct thing to do would have been castling long or take and then castle long or even castle short. Just getting the king out of there would have been fine. Because e4 is not something to worry about once you castle long or short. You can even play knight e5 and give up a pawn because your pieces are more active. But then Andrea played d5. She didn't expect the next move by Dina. Dina played e4. Now you can't take the knight because if you take, Dina takes with check. If you move the king to d1, then just castle long with enough play for black. And if you go to f1, takes and then bishop takes back, and it's a pawn up for black with better position. Rook d8 is coming. Everything looks good for black, which is why after e4, Andrea castles short, which is also a mistake. She had to castle long. She had to keep counterplay here. This is the only move for white which keeps a slight edge, which doesn't get a bad position for white. But Andrea castles short, and now knight e5. Nice move, saving the knight. Knight d4. Now look at these pawns storming down the board. This pawn mass over here. If black gets some active pieces here, then it's like almost all over. This looks so much good for black, and it's all because of this mistake where Andrea played d5, this position. This was the moment where the advantage went off and became bad. So let's come back. After knight d4, Dina goes for the kill. f3, the f pawn runs forward. g3, weakening the king a little bit. But the better option would have been still pawn takes f3. This was still slightly bad, but it's still defendable. But after g3, it becomes closed. King becomes toast. Pawn h5. Dina has a lot of ideas to attack now. Knight b5, threatening knight c7, but Dina is not interested. Bishop h6, attacking the queen. Queen d1, and now queen jumps in. This is not really a problem because Dina is going for mate. Knight c7. Dina just moves her king, and Andrea realizes she cannot take the rook because the queen is doing too much here. She moves the king away, but still queen g4. And still you can't really take because there's no defense to queen h3 and knight g4. It comes very quickly. Pawn d6, just trying to delay the moves a little bit because around here the next round of boxing starts. So Andrea tries to stall things a little bit so that she can try to finish the match off in the boxing part, which was not going to happen. But okay, queen h3, bishop check, king moves, rook g1, and now knight g4. Andrea is busted. There is no way to defend this. There are two threats actually, knight f2 and queen h2. I think Dina just saw this threat because after knight into f3, Andrea played this just to stop queen h2. There was a mate in one. Dina could have finished the game right here, but instead she played pawn takes. And here the next round of boxing started. So she should have finished the game right here, but she missed it. And things would have gone anywhere if the boxing round went in favor of Andrea. Bishop f7. She's just giving away pieces just to stop the mate, just to delay the mate. But then bishop g6, king takes, and here Andrea just resigned here because mate is unstoppable. Both moves are gonna be mate. So this is how Dina just completely thrashed Andrea's London system with moves like knight h5 and knight f4, and then just went for the kill with the center pawns and the king side attack.